Liz Wilcox here. Hello, I'm so excited. Wow, I see so many comments already. Hey, Candace. Heidi's here. Life in ARV. Hi there. Hey, guys. Welcome, welcome. We are right on time. Tell me, can you hear me? Can you see me? Johnny Lightning says, here we go. Yeah. Hey, Johnny. D, yes, your text is coming through. Candace says she's in the house. Here I am. Candace, thank you so much for coming in live. It means a lot. Roberto. Hey, Robert. How are you? I'm so glad you guys are here. Robert is from Exploring the Local Life. Shout out to him and his channel. Awesome. Welcome. This is big reveal of the name, TVC Live. I'm sure you already saw that, but I am so excited. Thank you guys so much for your suggestions for the name of this show. I actually had over 200 suggestions to name the show, but most of you said that you liked the name The Virtual Campground. It was really fitting. So I decided to just shorten it for the show's sake, TVC. Sometimes I use that in my emails anyway. And live, because you guessed it, we're live. I know, super creative. Hopefully the show will be a little more creative than the name. But welcome. Tell me where you're coming from. Say hello. I appreciate all the comments. Terry. Hey, Terry. Terry's here. He says chicken nugget. I'm not sure why he says chicken nugget, but there, he's said it. You can't take it back. It's on YouTube now. Hey, Dick's here. Dick's an awesome member of the campground. He wrote a guest post for us. You should check it out. Field Guide to Campground Dick's. Can I order jewelry at TVC? Love it. He's so funny. All right, awesome. Welcome, welcome, TVC Live. This is episode 1, and we are premiering with Ashley Mann of RVinspiration.com. She is my go-to for all things RV organization, downsizing, design, decor, renovation, all of that good stuff that I wish I was talented in. She actually is. So she's going to come on today and talk to us about downsizing, how you can do it, obstacles to overcome, things like that. Heidi asks, is this recorded so others can see it later? Yes, of course, this is going to upload to YouTube just like a regular video. Alright, so let me tell you how the show's going to go. I wanted to make this a little different, a lot more exciting than other traditional just talking head kind of podcasts or shows. I wanted this to be super interactive and really fun for you guys. So I've created a show that has different segments. Of course, this is the first episode, and I have a 4-year-old, and my husband just went to school, so it's not super awesome yet, but I hope you enjoy it anyway. I think it's still pretty, it's awesome. It's just not super awesome yet. But I do have a few segments lined up for you tonight, and I hope as you guys tell me how the show is going, we can grow it together and make it the most awesome RV show there ever was. So first we're going to do an In the News segment, and that's just where I share we'll say local news, but really it's just RV related news that I find interesting or you guys share with me, things like that. And then we're going to go into our main segment, which is the interview. And as you saw on the cover photo of this video before we went live, last we're going to have something called the Virtual Spotlight, and that is my favorite thing so far. And that is where I feature you, subscribers of the blog and website. And we share your RV story, how you got into RVing, how you found the virtual campground, and stuff like that. So I am super excited. Are you guys excited? Oh, might help if I hope you guys are excited. I'm not seeing new comments come in, but I guess that's because you're so excited you can't type. Your hands are shaking. All right, let's get this going. Awesome. Dee says she cannot see. Tell her to refresh the page because I can see her comments. So, okay, here we go. People are coming in. Hey, Trekkers are here. Ari and Jess, hey. Exploring the Local Life says they're excited. Mindy says, whoop, whoop. Love it. Tara, woohoo. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm so excited. All right, let's get to In the News. So, in the news, my very first article that I found, actually, I can't remember who sent this to me. Maybe it was Tara. I can't remember. Was this Outdoorsy article, and it was called RV Speed Limits for All 50 States. And someone said, hey, this might be useful for your audience. Share it if you'd like. And I took a look at it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good, useful information. And then I saw this, you guys. Do you see this? New Jersey notes, riding in a trailer is permitted. What? That is insane. That means you can ride in your travel trailer or your fifth wheel while someone is driving it down the road. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about that, but I would not suggest this. I think it's highly dangerous. New Jersey, you need to get your ish together because that is not safe and that should be illegal. So what do you guys think about that? Oh, Johnny says it is Jersey after all. That's so funny. Oh, hey, Joe's here. Hey, Joe. Where are they getting her soda? Yeah. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I shared something about my soda sharing. Oh, Brian's here. Hey, guys. Awesome. So that's a crazy thing that I learned that was in the news. Next, and... oh, whoops. Hang on, guys. All right, next, I thought this was super awesome. This was something that was shared by, I think they're called First Class RV Adventures with Louise and Sandra, and they shared this super awesome news. An immigrant family opens a truck camper manufacturer in Elkhart County, which, of course, is like the mecca of RVing, right? That's where all the RVs are made, basically, in and around Goshen County there. And so this immigrant family, I believe the man is from Mexico. He immigrated to America. And yeah, it says he created his own company. He, it says emigrated from Mexico and spent most of his career in the RV industry. It was heavy work, but he had a passion for it. And I think that's awesome. Jose, if you ever see this, we are rooting for you and your company. I know right now he has 4 truck campers for sale, and that is called Journey RV, and we love to support people like this, different entrepreneurs. I just thought it was amazing news to see, the Latino community coming up into the RV industry and making it, making something different and making a difference. Oh, and last, it wouldn't be an in the news segment without an RV show listing. The 2019 Florida RV Super Show is coming up next week, January 16th through the 20th in Tampa at the fairgrounds there, Florida State Fairgrounds, which I am actually only about 4 or 5 minutes away. So if you are coming to the Tampa Super Show, Florida RV Super Show, whatever you want to call it, I will be there. I hope to see you. I would love to meet you. Shoot me an email and let's meet up. All right, so that's in the news. All right, so what do you guys think? Is that a cool segment? Should we keep doing something like that? I thought it was kind of fun to come up with those ideas, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, so tonight we are going to be interviewing Ashley Mann. If you watch Full-Time Freedom Week, you already kind of know the story, but Ashley was someone that I don't even know how we found each other. Maybe she can tell us. I can never remember. But she found me, or I found her in her blog, and I was just super impressed. I was doing RV Renovations Week, which I've shared in my emails before, and I was just so impressed. I said, you have to be on my week. I have to see your RV. You have to give us tips. And somehow I convinced her. She had never gone live before, but she said yes, and I guess it goes from there. We've known each other, I guess that was about 1.5 years ago, and I continue to look to her for great decor ideas and things like that. So let's bring her on. Welcome, Ashley. How are you?
Hello.
We are so excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here as well.
Where are you coming from tonight?
So we actually just moved a week ago from Texas, where we spent about 6 months, back to our hometown, which is Springfield, Missouri, just in time for the coldest part of winter, which doesn't exactly make sense, but that was what we're planning on. And really the reason was because we wanted to be closer to family for a few weeks, or months. It's probably going to be quite a while, actually, that we're here. So we just got settled and got skirting on our RV and kind of finally getting back into a routine a little bit.
Right. And so before we dive into the downsizing, what I think I liked about Ashley was she was also a stationary RVer that was a blogger, and at the time we were also stationary. So when you say you moved your RV, can you tell us a little bit about that, because it's just unique and fun?
Yeah. So we don't own a truck. We have a fifth wheel, a four-season big Keystone fifth wheel, but we don't have a truck to pull it. We really bought it more because, I don't know, we kind of just liked the idea of living small, tiny living, minimalism and all that. And we did eventually think we'd like to travel in it, but that wasn't really our top priority right away. We really were just relocating to a new city for work, and kind of felt like it was a good opportunity to move into an RV instead of having to buy a house or just rent an apartment and have to waste the money on rent. So we got our RV about 2 years ago when we moved to Kansas City, Missouri. Actually, we were in Kansas, the Kansas side. Yeah, and we stayed there for about a year and a half, and then earlier this year in April, we decided to go to Texas for about 6 months. Actually, I think it was like 9 months. It doesn't matter. But my husband had a job thing he needed to do in Texas. So since we don't have a truck, we had someone on uship.com move our RV there for us. And then we did that again last week when we came back to Springfield, Missouri, where we started out from. So that's worked pretty well for us so far.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for... Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I love that. When we bought our RV, we didn't have a truck either, and the dealer moved it onto a park for us. But I just love hearing everyone's stories, because everyone RVs so differently, right? You know, you've moved a few times. We never moved our fifth wheel. We sold it because it was just going to be too much of a hassle. Now we travel. Now we're stationary again. So I just love hearing everyone's story. So speaking of hearing people's stories, we're going to be talking about downsizing. And first, before you get into your guru-ness, do you mind if I share a couple stories about, virtual campers that have downsized and just kind of help people get a feel for what it could look like?
Touch the vision.
All right, yeah. All right, so I have a little segment on my website called Inside the RV, and I've interviewed a lot of different RVers, and when Ashley and I were talking about doing this topic with you guys, I remember I had asked people, what did you do with all your stuff? And so I went back through the archives, and I saw a lot of different families, different dynamics, and them doing it in different ways and being successful. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So first, I want to show you guys the Happy Camper Wives. This is a couple out of California, I believe they were from. And this was one of my first interviews. So this is, they started RVing 2 or 3 years ago. And so you can read it here, or I'll explain. They, as you can see, they're in a teardrop camper, which to me is crazy, but to them was perfect. And at first, they downsized from their 3-bedroom home into a 5x5 storage unit. And they weren't planning to live in the camper, just travel. They were going on a trip, and they were going to settle back into Seattle. Well, then they went to Alaska. They found that they absolutely just loved this lifestyle, and all, like you see, all their precious stuff didn't really matter anymore. They couldn't remember what was even in there, and so they just continued to downsize into what could fit into their tab and their truck. So I guess the truck would be like their storage. But as you can see, they also, I think they had 1 or 2 dogs. So if they can do it, you can do it. Next, Julie and Sean Chicory. I know some of you probably know them really well. They're Chicory's Travels. They are a different family, and they do things differently too. Instead of, the teardrop camper, they have a large fifth wheel toy hauler. So of course, it's not as extreme, but they're empty nesters. They had a lot more stuff to get rid of, I'm sure, than the younger couple. And Julie admits that it was pretty tough for her. She didn't grow up much, having much, so she clung to a lot of things. So it was a very emotional process, whereas with the happy campers you just saw, it was probably more exciting. So I think a lot of you probably fit into this group where this is emotional. You might have a lot of sentimental value attached to things, but they ended up, getting a storage unit, or a pods, and after 2 years, they finally downsized even further into a smaller storage unit. So again, it's a process just like hitting the road. They took their downsizing as a process as well. And last, Crazy Family Adventure, you might have heard of them as well. They are a family of 6. They have 4 kids, and they actually downsized from a giant house into a rather large Class A motorhome, into a smaller Class C motorhome, into a smaller travel trailer. So they've downsized a lot, just like Julie and Sean. They took it in stages. They had the storage unit, and now they store things with parents and family, stuff that they really just can't get rid of. I know for them personally, they do a Renaissance fair. They love that sort of event, and so they actually store their Renaissance clothes, I think with their dad or like a sister or something, I can't remember, but I know they store that, and those are items they would never give away, and that's totally okay. I mean, they live in a small space and they still have stuff with family members. But I like that they said each time we downsize, we realize more and more that we really don't need that much, even with 6 people and a dog. So I think that's pretty inspiring. Let's look at some of the comments. Carol says, we're getting out of our house, ready to put it on the market in February. Plan on storing only a few items from the house. Once the house sells, we will be full-timers. Awesome, Carol. Congratulations. That's awesome. All right, so those are just my little virtual campground inspirations. I hope that helps you, see that it's relatable. And full disclosure, Ashley has an awesome downsizing course. It's called Inspired to Downsize. And I am a student of that course. Even being in the RV, I still need help. Like I said, it's a process. You kind of never stop downsizing. And so I bought this course a few months ago when it launched. I love it. It's full of information. And we've got a special discount for you at the end. But first, let's bring back out Ashley. Oh, whoops. I already had you out, Ashley. Sorry about that. I know that you have a little background in downsizing. Me, it was more easy, and I know for you, you struggled a little bit more. Can you share some of that?
Yep. I think I was actually pretty... I have a pretty sentimental personality by nature.
Okay.
Especially when I was younger. I remember my childhood bedroom was full of souvenirs from every trip we ever took, and things that had belonged to my grandmother, and I'm trying to remember what all, t-shirts from every church camp every summer with just stuff that, even after they were too small, I still kept the shirts, and
yeah.
I just had so much stuff even as a kid, and my family moved a lot, and so my parents always made fun of me because I had so many boxes whenever we would move that were just from my bedroom, and I really had a hard time letting go of anything that was sentimental. But after college, I lived in South Korea for a little over a year as a English teacher. And so only took 2 suitcases worth of stuff there. And so I think kind of starting from scratch and buying whatever I needed over there kind of changed my perspective a little bit initially to not feel like I had to have certain things in my life as much. But then when I did get back home, I still had a bunch of stuff that I, kind of left over from my childhood. I'm sure a lot of people can relate when you go to college and then maybe move out and get married and you still have your stuff back at your parents' house. So that's how I was for a long time. And then my husband and I, we got married and bought a house and had our own stuff. So, and we really enjoyed, decorating our first house and buying everything we wanted for it. But then I had stuff at our house plus stuff at my parents' house, and I was only like 27 or 28 or something at the time. And I, also started seeing my parents. They were thinking about getting ready for retirement, and they had this huge garage full of stuff, and some of it was mine, but theirs as well. And I'm like young still, and I've already got a whole attic full of stuff and garage. And then we decided to move into the RV, and that was when I decided I really want to try to limit what we own. And I didn't want to do a storage shed, which I think that's great for some people, and I don't have a problem with anyone who wants to do that. But I think that I liked the idea of starting from scratch with our RV and trying to fit everything in it that we own. And the only exceptions were a couple of, like Rubbermaid tubs of some of my like childhood toys that I allowed myself to keep with permission in a friend's attic. But other than that, I spent like 6 months just, really going through my house category by category and, being more and more ruthless with myself about what I really needed. So that was the process that I went through. And then, now I have this RV Inspiration blog, and I see other people going through the same process and constantly wanting to know, have help, and how do we get rid of all our stuff. Right. At the same time, I'm also witnessing my mom, not only with her own stuff, now she's helping both her dad and, my dad's dad, my two grandpas, deal with their lifetime of stuff. It's wow. Like their stuff is falling to my parents, along with the stuff they already have to deal with. My grandpa, had to move into a smaller apartment a couple years ago. Right. And he had tons and tons of stuff and nothing to do with it. So, it ended up in my parents' garage on top of all their stuff. Just seeing what can happen. And I know that it's a situation that a lot of people, especially older people, are facing, as they reach retirement age or later, and they realize, they feel burdened by owning the stuff, but they also, maybe don't want to leave that behind for their families. So that's kind of my background and why I care about the topic and started writing about it and made the course too.
That's awesome. I love that story, and I think that's something a lot of people can relate to. You know, your parents are having to deal with their parents' stuff, especially in a generation, people our age, people 15 years older, and then 15 years older, if that makes any sense. Everyone's got their stuff, and, people that are older, maybe your grandpa's age, where they had to save everything, things weren't as accessible as they are nowadays, things like that. That mentality can be so hard to get rid of, and then your parents have all that sentimental attachment, to those things, right? So that can be really tricky. My sister just called me a couple days ago and said, what are we going to do with Mom's storage unit? My mom's not even that old. She's 52. And right. She was like, we've got to start sorting through this stuff. She's already thinking of it.
Well, and one thing I want to add too, I actually, just talking to my mom yesterday, she was telling me about how she's going through her parents' house now, and my grandma died years ago, and she wishes that she could have gone through this stuff while my grandma was still alive to ask questions and like share stories and actually, enjoy the things one more time before just getting rid of them. So right. I think that's, yet another kind of thing that, if you just leave it all till the end, then it really, has no value. That's to the people that you leave it to a lot of times.
Yeah, that's so true. All right. So first, I just want to tell you, I think your headphones might be bumping something. I'm getting a little, just so you know. Yeah, no big deal. It wasn't too super bad. Just want to let you know. But anyway, I know that you always teach that there are basically obstacles that you have to go through in order to, I guess, have success in downsizing and overcome these obstacles. Can you share what they are with us? Some common ones?
Yeah. So I think that it's just to talk about the idea of obstacles a second.
Sure.
I think it's pretty common in the full-time RVing community, especially, to want to embrace a more minimalistic lifestyle, and you want to go full-time or whatever.
Right.
But sometimes that's easier said than done, and I think there's I've talked to people that I don't know if everyone here is already full-time in their RV or not, but I would imagine not. And I've heard from a lot of people that have a plan to do it in 2 or 3 years, but sometimes it's hard to get the ball rolling or just stay motivated, really. So that's really the idea. Is I've kind of identified a few main obstacles that it seems like people are running into, and I think I just thought I'd share some advice for pushing through that. The first one is really the feeling of overwhelm, and it's like such a big task that you don't even know where to start. And I think my grandpa, my dad's dad, is a good example of that, because I've actually sat down and had a lot of conversations with him about minimalism, and he loves that Josiah and I, my husband, live in an RV, and thinks that it would be cool. Actually, interestingly, he helped just build a tiny house to sell, because he has a construction background. So he loves the whole movement, but for him to actually go through all the stuff that's actually, he's living 3 hours north of my parents now, so to get all the stuff that he owns out of their storage shed, that's like an overwhelming task. So I think the best way I have come up with to deal with that feeling of overwhelm is really to, rather than just look at the whole project like this huge thing that, when are you, like, you can't imagine starting it or finishing it, really just breaking it into smaller steps and making a plan and setting a realistic goal just to get started is really the key to pushing through that feeling, because the emotional part of you is separate from your brain, and if you can get your brain in gear and make a plan, then a lot of times you're not feeling those feelings that, not that they won't come back necessarily, but that's when you have your plan that you can return to. So the first key really to overcoming an obstacle, to overcoming the feeling of overwhelm, is to set realistic goals that have a deadline, that are small enough that you can do them in a short amount of time, a manageable amount of time, not like this year necessarily even, but like this month, what am I going to do? Or this week, what am I going to do? Another one I know, you've talked about running into before, or, I don't know if, sometimes your family members aren't, on board with it as much as you are. So, whether or not they are actually like against the idea, or just maybe like a little more,
struggling. I'll say struggling. Yeah. So she's
more sentimental, like I was.
Yeah. She's talking about Ed, my husband. He was, I don't know what part of his background, or just maybe because I don't know if it was sentimental, or it was just more of, I could afford to have this, I should have this, you know what I mean? Because he grew up slightly poor, so, and then he got a good job in the Army and was, big baller status in his eyes. So he was like, why shouldn't I have these nice things or whatever? Why shouldn't I have a great giant t-shirt collection and shoe collection and things like that. And yeah, it was, it was overwhelming for me to try to get him, in the groove or even, in the mood, or to see what I saw or how I saw it. And I think I shared this with Ashley before, but I actually had to back off, and I said, you know what? He'll do it on his own time. If we live in this RV, he's got to eventually get annoyed with all this stuff. So I'm just going to let him deal with that. And honestly, that strategy worked. I just let him have his things, and I told myself, Liz, this man is 6'5". He lives in an RV with you. If he wants to have his shoe collection and his t-shirt collection, let him have it. And eventually he whittled it down himself, and now I'm the one that's stealing hangers from his closet. If that's the situation you're in, that's also very common, and it can be frustrating. And, if you're the one wanting to downsize and your partner isn't, honestly, I would suggest just, back off, and the process will naturally happen if they are also willing to RV, because you have to.
I think it seems like you set the example in that case. And I think that's really if you're committed to the vision, then, just do your own thing, and, don't worry about them, like you said, and right. Set a good example for them, but also don't be judgmental, help and support them as much as possible without, I know it's compromise, and,
right.
Maybe even this is my space and this is your space.
Yeah.
And I guess another factor that I didn't have to deal with is kids. And I know that, maybe sometimes parents are all excited and the kids aren't really on board with it. So that can present a whole nother set of issues to deal with. But, I think that, what I've found is that it's really the biggest thing to help is when everyone shares the vision.
Right.
And if you can, get everyone in the household on board with, the vision of what the future is going to look like, and maybe their future, their ideal isn't the same as yours. So your reason for wanting to live in an RV or whatever might not be the same as your kids. But if you can figure out what motivates your kid, and, what in their future RV life is something that they can look forward to when they're going through this, then I think that can, just by having everyone on board, it's gonna be a lot easier and more fun, and you can keep each other accountable, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and I'm sure in the Q&A we'll go back. I'm sure somebody will ask about kids. So somebody remind me, I do have a story. I was actually talking to someone yesterday about downsizing with kids, so it's a perfect thing. But I don't want to get too off track, because then we'll never finish. Okay, so we just talked about overwhelm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I said. Well, staying motivated is another big thing that people have trouble with. I have a subscriber that told me that she started downsizing and cleaned out everything in a certain room and had this big pile of stuff in the living room that she was going through, and then kind of just lost the energy and momentum of the project. And so I think that's pretty common even after you've started, to still sometimes run into feelings of it's not as fun when you really get down into it. But I think that the key there is just to really strongly believe in your why, and know, why you're doing it to begin with, and involve friends and family members as much as possible. Even if you don't live with people who are doing it with you, tell them what you're doing, and tell them your plan, and just the fact of telling someone else what your plan is, then you're gonna look flaky if you don't follow through. So that's a thing I do. I think I've used that trick with Liz before. I tell Liz I'm gonna write a downsizing course, and then now I have to do it.
Yeah, that's such a good point, you guys. Yeah, just tell people, live it out loud, I guess. I always say, just open your big mouth. I said I wanted to do a talk show, but secretly I wanted to do this 14 months ago, but I barely told anyone, so I was off the hook. So same with downsizing, same with going RVing. If you just start telling people will start asking, hey, how's that downsizing going? Like, hey, did you launch that talk show yet, Liz? It's that same principle. You can use it in life. I love that point. That's a great point.
I think the last one was the biggest one for me and is the big one for a lot of people. And that's the sentimental stuff. And even sometimes that can even hold you back from getting started, is like knowing that eventually you're going to have to deal with that stuff. So it's like a fear. And, a couple things that I really figured out for myself, that helped. One was to separate the decision of what to do with the thing from the decision of whether or not to keep it. So, if I'm going through a big closet of stuff, I pull everything out of the closet and I just separate it into piles of keep and let go. But I'm not thinking yet about, how I'm going to let it go. Is it going to actually end up in a dumpster somewhere? My precious toy from my childhood or whatever. If I start thinking those thoughts, then a lot of times I will start feeling sadness or, running into those things. Or even if I start just too much time for me to think about it, I a lot of times can convince myself to keep the item. So if I can just turn off the feeling part and quickly go through like need, don't need, then I can later decide, okay, I've already decided I don't need this thing. What then is the best thing to do with it? Especially if it's a sentimental item and I still want to honor the memory, because there are some really creative ideas on Pinterest and places like that for what you can do with sentimental items that isn't keeping the item, but you still preserve it in some way. So you can come up with those ideas later. But if you're trying to do that in the middle of your closet cleaning project, then you're never going to get through with the cleaning out the closet. So separating those decisions helps me a lot. And then also looking for ways to do good with the things you're getting rid of. So as much as possible, I like to look for organizations to donate them to, or someone I actually know who would enjoy having it. And then I get to experience those feelings of generosity and the good feelings that come with giving things away to someone that needs them and doing good and all that. So rather than just dumping it all on the thrift store loading dock even, because sometimes, that's always what I do, kind of as a last resort. But sometimes I see my stuff there and I'm like, is it going to get rained on or, whatever. So
yeah. And I think nowadays that is, I'm sure thrift stores are, overloaded. So
yeah, definitely.
if you can find someone that appreciates your items. I saw a ton of comments about, there's little different apps. I saw Chicory's Travels talked about an app called Let Go.
Oh yeah, I've used that one. It's kind of like Craigslist, but I like it because it's a little more, like you can, I don't know, I feel a little more secure than Craigslist and less sketchy. So if you don't like Craigslist, I think Let Go is
seen too many Lifetime movies, Ashley.
I use Craigslist too, but I know some people are worried about it.
Yeah. So she said, I think, I'm not going to scroll all the way up, but she was talking about, I think she's let go of something like 10 bins of Christmas items.
Wow.
And remember, we mentioned Chicory's Travels at the beginning. They had 2 pods and downsized to, that storage unit. So probably some of those Christmas bins were in those pods. So that's awesome. She said that she felt so good when the person came to pick it up and she got to talk to them. Like you were saying, she felt that generosity, she was, passing on a sort of legacy of things, right? Which is so much better than, just throwing it away or tossing it and praying it doesn't get rained on and that the thrift store opens tomorrow so they can bring it inside. I love that. Mike says, I try to give to disabled vets and books to the VA hospital. I love that. I know I was having a conversation with a subscriber. I can't remember the name right now. I think it was maybe Jocelyn. I see Jocelyn. She can tell me if it was her. She's been donating to the women's shelter, all her clothes and things like that. And that I hadn't heard of. It wasn't something that I had thought of, and every Christmas I like to buy hygiene products and things like that and donate to shelters, and I thought, duh, why wouldn't I give away some clothes and things like that? So I love the discussion in the comments. Thanks, guys. Julie says, yes, the 10 bins of Christmas stuff were in the pods. So that has been confirmed. All right. I think there was one obstacle that I'd like you to talk about, maybe like when you're getting opposition from family. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I think we talked about it a little bit with the example of Ed, but
right. That's true.
I think really just coming back to the supporting them and not judging them, and set your own example first. And practically speaking, you can even I think with kids this is maybe a good idea to designate a space for them that is their own, and allow them to personalize it. So it's not like I think maybe some people are resistant to feeling like you're controlling them, and they don't want to, everyone needs the feeling of independence and autonomy to a certain extent. So, by letting people make choices, I actually read some great ideas about helping kids get rid of toys that were like, presenting them a choice, like, which, would you rather do this or this? And even helping them, this maybe would work better with smaller kids, but helping them feel good about helping kids that don't have toys and things like that. And I guess sometimes bribery can work too, and sometimes parents that I've read about will offer, like, if they'll get rid of their certain amount of toys, then they can, and I think this would be ideal for families looking to live in an RV, replace it with something that more fits into their future lifestyle, like a new bicycle or a kayak or something that they can get excited about. So it's not just like you're losing something, but also there's like you're replacing it with something that's also fun. So I think there's techniques that can really help with dealing with, especially with kids, but also different family members that are struggling.
I think that's a great idea about, trading. Like, okay, well, you have 10 stuffed animals, but wouldn't you like a new bike or a blow-up kayak or something like that? Yeah, that would make more sense to the lifestyle. Yeah. So, you went over a lot. Can you just give us maybe a quick summary?
Bullet summary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the main things that I really wanted to communicate were, first of all, to make a plan, and then you can deal with that feeling of overwhelm. Is set realistic goals and get your brain involved. It will help you also stay motivated to be able to refer back to that plan once you're in the project and it's not as fun anymore. The other thing is to really strongly believe in why you're doing it to begin with, and involve others who can support you through it. Tell them that you're doing it. Inspire and set examples rather than judging or fighting with people in your household that aren't on board with it. And lastly, with the sentimental stuff, to get over that fear, just look for practical solutions and separate the decision of what to do with the item from the decision of whether or not to keep it. So when you're going through a cabinet or going through a room, try to work quickly and sort as fast as you can, and then later you can go back through the stuff that you're getting rid of and decide what's the best thing to do with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is great. everybody is coming up with some awesome ideas in the comments too. People are saying with old family photos and things like that, genealogical societies are super interested in stuff like that all the time, and then you can share your history with those people too, so it's not like you're just throwing things away. I love that. That was great. All right, so we mentioned earlier you have your course. Can you tell us about it? I know I'm a student, so I could rave about it all day, but let's hear from the master.
Well, so I didn't have a course that I went through when I did this thing, and you didn't either, I know. Liz didn't. So, you can do it on your own, and people are doing it. But I think that it does take a lot of willpower, and I think you have to be pretty organized or pretty, I kind of put people into two categories. I think there are people that, they're just ready to do it, but they may need, kind of some, coaching for exactly how to approach it. But then there's people that, they're more reluctant and it's difficult. And, so I think that really the only solutions is for those people, it's like you just rip off the Band-Aid and take all your stuff and get rid of it. I mean, to me, that was scary, and I didn't want to do it that way for myself. So I spent months looking for those organizations to donate to and figuring out the best way to sort my stuff. And I know not everyone has months and months and months, especially some of the people who are like, we sold our house, now how do we get rid of all our stuff to get into our RV? Or maybe you just don't want to take that long. So I think really the idea that I had was, like, I've done it, and I have a huge list of organizations you can donate to, and I have all the kinds of ideas that I've been sharing in this webinar. I have tons of them, ideas for helping kids and helping, like, specifically how to go through your kitchen and your bathroom and all the different things through my own experience, but also from lots of research online and everything. And so I think that the advantage is having someone else that's already done the research for you is going to save you the time, and it's just going to give you a simple process that you can follow step by step, and also tips for some of the more tricky parts of the process. So really the course, it takes you step by step through from the planning stage. It's going to take you through setting goals, setting deadlines, figuring out your why, all of that. Then step by step, one category at a time through your stuff. A really clear step, each lesson is steps, like tips, and then a follow-up lesson that helps you get to work. And then there's additional ideas for things like dealing with the sentimental stuff, and some of the ideas that I was talking about on Pinterest that I've found and I'm passing along through the course. Also tips for having a garage sale, and tips for selling online. I know some people are not as experienced with some of the websites for selling online, or how to stay safe selling online. And so I actually really enjoy selling stuff online, so I've talked a lot about that and shared some of my experiences, good and bad, with that. In addition, I have a workbook that comes with the course, and it's there's actually a PDF version that's free that comes with the course. You can download it and print it off, and it has worksheets that go with each category that you're going through to help you kind of figure out what you actually need and think through the possibilities. There's also a physical version of the workbook that you can purchase with a spiral binding if you don't want to have to download it and print it off. So that's an option as well.
Yeah, and I just want to say, you guys, so this is one of the reasons why I love Ashley and her site and her course, is she is a researcher. So if you go to rvinspiration.com, if you've ever been there, it is I don't know, how do I explain it? It is like, I don't know, it's like the produce aisle at your grocery store. It has everything, right? Like, she has grouped everything. She's done her research. A lot of her blog posts are types of roundup posts where she has gathered information from other RVers, other bloggers, things like this, to really just bring you the best, right? To bring you the most important things that you need to know. And that's what I love about Ashley and this course. Like she said, she's done all the research, right? She's asked the people with kids. She's asked the empty nesters. She's asked the people that are super sentimental and the people like me that are like, whatever, I don't need it. You know, she's gathered all these types of people, all these types of problems together, and she's put it all in one place for you. And I just, like, she launched the course, I don't know, when was it? September, October? And I don't know, but I was probably one of the first people to buy, because I was like, oh my gosh, if Ashley made it, you know, I need this. Especially, I'm probably not even her target. You know, I don't have a problem downsizing. I can throw away stuff like it doesn't even matter. But I know my husband's not like that, so I knew I needed that fresh perspective. And I think when you get this course and you open it up and you see all the research and detail she's put into it, I saw someone in the comments, who was it? Johnny Lightning has an intense record collection. If you want to go on the road, a record collection is awesome, but it's probably pretty heavy. You probably won't be able to bring them. So she's done all this research about how to sell online.
Including records, specifically.
Oh my gosh. See what I'm talking about, you guys? Like, I haven't even gotten to that part yet, or I might have not seen that part because, you know, it doesn't apply to me. I don't have records. I was born in 1988. But yeah, she is so meticulous. This course is so, yeah, I mean, I just pulled that out of the comments and she was like, oh, well, actually. And so I think when you get this course, you're going to find everything that you need. She's going to help you through those emotions, through helping your parents, yourself, other people, you know, getting rid of stuff, but more than getting rid of it, just passing it on, I think. I think she's done a great job of being sensitive to that. And it's great. Candace says, oh, awesome. Candace says, RV Inspiration is such a great resource. My 87-year-old mom uses many of her tips. See, you guys, she is for everyone. Like, Ashley is just, I just love her, and that's why I knew she was the perfect guest to bring on for the Verse show. And Exploring the Local Life says, I'm such a baby. What? Anyway, Ashley's course is just amazing. She's a wealth of information. And tonight, when you buy through the virtual campground, you guys know I love you all. You know, I've created this show as a place for us to gather together. When you get the course, she's giving 15% off the price. So that knocks it down to only $75, and that awesome workbook. If you're one of those people like me, I may have been born in 1988, but I am a pen and paper gal, okay? Like, these are my notes for tonight, and Chelsea's notes with them. You can see every page has scribbles. But anyway, if you're a pen and paper person like me, you know, you don't do well with PDFs, you would like to print things out, whatever, she's going to give you that workbook, that actual workbook, for free. When you purchase, all you have to do is email me and say, hey Liz, I saw your show, I purchased, we're going to actually mail you that workbook. And that's it's $14.99, right, Ashley? Mm-hmm. As an add-on.
I believe so. It might be.
Oh, no, it's $17. So it's $17.
Well, with the shipping, it
right.
There's like, so it depends on what shipping option. But yeah.
Okay. It's over $15, people.
Yeah.
Did that sound like, QVC or what? But anyway, you know, if I wasn't a member, like, I'm an actual student of this course, I think the workbook is fabulous. That's over $30 that you're going to get knocked off the course price and the products. And so you're going to get all that for only $75. The link is in the description of the video. So you just click the see more or whatever, and you can click over to purchase the course. I think it's a really awesome course. I bought it with my own hard-earned blogging money, and I think you should buy it too. I think it's awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. Do you guys
I wanted to...
Go ahead,
also,
yeah.
You're talking about the blog, and I want to mention that I'm actually starting a new blog.
Okay, tell us.
This year, one of my goals is I'm going to be starting kind of a, based on the course, kind of a spin-off blog. It's going to be called Inspired to Downsize, same as the course name. So the same idea with RV Inspiration, where I'm gathering ideas and passing along what I've found. That's what the blog is all about. So same topic as the course and this webinar, just lots of resources for people who are looking to downsize, whether to live in an RV or for retirement or just to have a more minimalist lifestyle or for whatever reason. So if you're interested in me letting you know when the blog is launched, because it's going to be inspiredtodownsize.com, but I only just today got that to where it says it's not ready. If you go to the website, you won't see anything except hello world. Anyway, it's if you go to rvinspiration.com/downsize, if you sign up on the form on that page, then I can let you know once that new blog is available.
Right, and that link is also in the description, you guys. It's right under the course link. It says check out Ashley's new blog or something like that, and you can get added to that wait list for more tips and awesome stuff.
I mean, this blog is going to be up and running within a couple of months. That's a promise I'm making to you in order to
keep
hold
herself
myself
accountable. Yeah, see, she's practicing what she's preaching. She's the real deal, people. That is awesome. All right, so do you guys have any questions? It was scrolling really fast, so if you asked a question and we didn't address it, ask it again. We went so long. Sorry, guys, but I hope everyone says this has been a great first show and they're learning lots, so that's all. Someone also said that they have shoes older than me. I think you need Ashley's course because those shoes are probably pretty smelly and, unless they're super nice leather and you get them resold, you might want to downsize those. So, that's so funny. Anyway, let's see if there's any questions. If not, I told you guys we're going to play a game. I know we're kind of running late, but I hope you guys stay on. But let's play a game. This game is called Toss or Boss. And this means basically we're going to show Ashley some items that you guys actually sent in. This is the most fun. I'm so excited. Can you tell? So she's going to tell us, should we toss it or is it totally boss and you should keep it? And for those of you that weren't born in the 80s, totally boss means that it's totally cool and you should keep it. Because I know some people in the comments are talking about World War II shoes. So I just want to explain the boss part of that to you. Hope you stick around. Somebody says, I sang some game show music for you. I know, like I told you guys, I only had a couple days to plan this, so we don't have music and stuff yet, but we'll get there. All right, cool. So I hope this is fun for you guys, because this is something new. I haven't actually seen anybody really do this, so we'll see. Ashley's our guinea pig tonight, so thanks, Ashley. Are you ready to play Toss or Boss?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
All right, so let me see. Can you see that on the screen?
Oh, that's cute.
All right, so I love the reactions. This is going to be so fun. Oh my gosh. I'm just laughing because I know what's coming. All right, so this is a cute little picnic decoration camper. I actually had written down whose this was. I forget. Anyway, it's not important. So is this toss or boss?
Well, I think that if you're living in an RV, you've got to have some RV decor. However, it just depends on I think if you decide that you have you get to the point where you have so many little camper decor things that you are rolling down the road, and and it's taking you too long to get them all secured for your travel. I'm sure that the people in these comments, a lot of them would be willing to take it off your hands as well.
Yeah, that's true. Someone says, need a function. Johnny says, old people go to bed at 9, Liz. I know. I'm sorry. I actually get up at 4:30 in the morning, so I'm pretty tired too. But I hope this is fun for you.
If you have something like a cute camper thing, it would make a really good gift for somebody in an RV park if you are in an RV park.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good way of getting rid of it.
I actually had a cute little camper candle that I bought, and I had it last year, and then I gave it away this year. So
cool.
I sometimes buy things like that temporarily, and then I pass them on.
I love that idea. See, she's amazing. All right, item number 2. All right, this was sent to us, let's see, by Barbara. And Barbara was telling me that she's just got a lot, like you were talking about, her parents' things, her things. She's in her 60s, she's ready to hit the road, and she sent a ton of pictures. I didn't want to overwhelm you, but these are basically it's like silver.
Looks like antique
silver or something like that. So what do you think? Toss or boss?
Yeah, here's my feeling about that stuff is use it if you like it. If you really love that stuff, then don't just put it in a box. Actually use the silver. And if you're worried about it being valuable, if you go on eBay or something like that, you can see how much this stuff is actually worth, and then you can ask yourself, is it actually worth my time to list it on eBay, even if I could get $5 for selling this thing? So maybe if it adds up, maybe, but really the question is, do you love it? And if so, keep it, as long as you have a space for it and can put it to good use inside your small space. Sometimes you have to prioritize. So I'm going to say toss with that one.
It's okay. Ashley's afraid of being mean. Everyone, somebody in the comments, all caps, toss, next. All right.
Well,
sorry, Barbara.
If you're keeping it from guilt, then absolutely toss it.
Okay. So, all right. Ashley, I love this one. Plants. I know you're a plant lady. What do you think of these plants?
Keep the plants, but toss the containers and the shelf.
All right. Smart. There you go, Annie. All right, what about this plant?
Oh, that's cool. I gotta keep that one.
All right, she says that's totally boss. What do you guys think of this? It's a plant, like, in a head holder. All right,
There's
awesome.
definitely room in an RV for that one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What do you guys think? Oh, somebody says boss, and then someone says toss. So that's a toss-up. All right, next. Let's see what's next. All right, this is a wooden salad bowl set.
I think my mom had one of those. I personally love those things, and if I had a need for it, I would use it. But it's not going to do any good sitting in a cabinet. So if you're not using it every day, then toss it.
All right, but what if I told you this is a picture of her when she was 14 using it, and it has severe, like really strong. Keep the picture.
Toss the bowl.
Oh, but Techno RV says, "Boss, it doesn't break." That's a great point.
That's true.
If you're a salad eater, that's a really great point. Candace says, "Boss, useful if you eat salads, much better than plastic."
Yep.
All right, we've got some controversial topics here, guys. All right, next. This one is coming from Dave. This is his part of his Pez collection. He has over 60. What do you think?
I gotta say toss, and I think the reason for this one is I think that it's fun to collect things, but I've found that if you can, first of all, find someone else who collects Pez and give it to them because they'll love it, but replace your collection with something that's a little more space friendly because you can collect postcards or magnets or Christmas ornaments for your RV Christmas tree, a little bitty one, or something else that's not gonna pins to stick on your hat or something like that. That's not gonna be a box of keep your favorite one, toss the rest.
Yeah. Keep these. I think Johnny Lightning, I think that's you, Dave. He says, that's me. I love people are actually watching saying, that's me, that's mine. So that's super cool. All right. I've got just a couple more. All right. What do you think about
Oh my gosh. My first question is why?
I was just waiting.
It looks like it has a story.
Yeah, so this is a Mexican leather mask. It's a jaguar. It's a jaguar, and it's a leather mask. Apparently, Denise has a collection, and this is one of the most unique ones.
Wow. So my question, okay.
Someone says absolutely
people
not.
Decide you appreciate this. This is my question is, first of all, maybe you can find a way to display this collection, but is there a way that you can get rid of it and allow more people besides just you to enjoy it? Donate it to a museum or something to where you can go see it and still not, still other people can enjoy it too. If not, if this is your thing and you're super into this, then definitely make that, have an RV decorated with that.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm dying at the comments. Boss or be haunted forever.
Good point.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm dying. Candace says toss, it would scare the shit out of me at the middle of the night. Oh my gosh, you guys, oh man, this is so funny. I knew that one was, when somebody sent that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what the game is all about, baby. Boss or you'll be haunted. That's awesome. Alright, and last but not least, this is my chicken purse. This is my third chicken purse. I carried one in college, and anytime it rips, someone buys me a new one. I know you guys know me for RVing, but in my personal life, I am the chicken purse lady. What do you think? Is it toss or boss, Ashley?
Is this the purse you use every day?
I don't use it anymore, but I used to. I only don't use it because Ed is embarrassed by it.
Oh, I think you got to move on from the chicken lady. And take a picture, save this picture, and keep it in your memory forever.
That's funny. Candace says, no way. It doesn't have Coach on it. Toss. Love it. Heidi says, if you use it every day, boss. Nope, I don't use it. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Ashley, for playing. Was that fun?
Are you asking me or them?
I'm asking you. Well, everybody.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It was very surprising.
That last one, Denise is watching, so...
I have a hard time being mean to people.
No, I know.
But it's hard too because it's like, it really, this is a serious moment now, comes down to what you value. And if that's your passion, then get rid of something else instead and keep that thing.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, if your passion is those leather masks and that one really is truly rare, then of course don't throw it away. I don't think it's going to haunt you forever. It might be good luck in Mexico. I don't know how those leather masks work. But thank you so much, Ashley. Again, tell us where we can find you and the discount about the course really quick.
Okay, first of all, rvinspiration.com if you're looking for RV ideas. If you're interested in downsizing ideas, rvinspiration.com/downsize. And I will let you know as soon as I've got that new blog up and running. Also, before I forget to say it, if we didn't get to your question during the show tonight, sometimes I think the way YouTube works doesn't let me go back and answer questions later. So if you have a question for me personally, please feel free to email me. My email address is admin@rvinspiration.com or ashley@rvinspiration.com works too. Or you can message me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook or Instagram @rvinspiration, at all those places, Twitter too. So the discount with the course is 15% off for the virtual campground. When you purchase the course, I believe this is what I told you. I think you already shared. I can't remember if you mentioned this or not, but use the coupon code virtual campground, for that discount.
Correct.
And then, yeah, it's all one word, virtual campground. And then the book is kind of this is like a limited time only offer. It's not free forever. It's for the month of January only. I will personally send you a free copy of the physical version of the workbook if you just let one of us know that you bought the course and you want that. So that's what I've got.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thanks for sharing all this information, the discount and the free workbook when you buy the course, and for playing Toss or Boss. I hope you have a great night.
Your first guest, and good luck with the rest of your talk show.
Awesome. Thanks. All right, guys. I know that we ran super late. I do have one more thing. I am going to run it. It's pre-recorded. I hope you stick around because this is Heidi. She's been in the comments. The virtual spotlight, I will explain it in the video, but basically it's a spotlight on you, the subscriber, where we talk about your RV stories and how you came upon the virtual campground. So I'm just going to let that run. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you all so much. The next show is next Tuesday. It's going to be every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I already have a lot of guests lined up. I'll be sharing that on Sunday with you guys in the email as to who the next guest is. But I'm super excited. I know we're running out, so I just want to quick go to this virtual spotlight. This is with Heidi Bodette. She is a subscriber. She has been part of the virtual campground for almost a year and a half now, and I hope you guys enjoy her story. Welcome, welcome. This is the very first virtual spotlight where we will be spotlighting email subscribers and followers of the virtual campground so we can get to know each other better. This is Heidi Bodette of Loving the RV. Is that correct?
It's Loving the RV Life.
LovingTheRVLife.com, baby. All right, so I'll let you introduce yourself, and she's just going to tell us about how she got into RVing, maybe share a fun story, and maybe more about her blog as well. So go ahead, Heidi.
Well, hello, everybody. And Liz, I'm so proud of you. This is exciting for you to be your first virtual campground live. So I'm just so proud of you. I know you've been working towards this for like 14 months, and you're here. So congratulations. Yeah, my name is Heidi, and I do write a Loving the RV Life blog. It's pretty new. I've only got about 5 blogs on there, and wanted to tell everybody that I'm just 12 days from retirement. So I'm 12 days into the RV life, living it full time, and I retired from Apple, and it's just been a whirlwind the last 12 days. So we are now on Arizona trust land, and it's real similar to Bureau of Land Management land, where you can be on it for 14 days. Arizona wants you to pay $20 for an entire year. So we've already paid, and made up for the $20 already. This is our 3rd day out here, and right now, I know it's $20 for an entire year. There's trust land in Arizona. So
awesome.
We're right outside Lake Havasu City in Arizona, and we have mountains on 3 sides of us. It's pretty amazing. And there's maybe about 12 or so RVs out here that are also off-grid, and we have no hookups. And so we're really getting to check out our solar and lithium batteries that we have on our Tiffin Allego Red motorhome. So really exciting out here, and we also even have 4 LTE bars of AT&T service. It's amazing, and you usually don't see that out in the middle of nowhere, but we are just about a mile from a Walmart, so it's a little bit of a civilization out there, but pretty neat at night. You can see the stars, which when you live in the city before, you didn't really see that because of all the white noise, the light noise. So. But that's our RV status. We're hoping to be in the Southwest for probably 2 or 3 months, and then we really don't know where we're going to go after that. So we're just going to kind of park it and kind of see what we can do around the area. and then move on to the next one. So right now we thought we'd start in the Southwest.
That's awesome. It's amazing, $20 and internet. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. So how did you guys get into RVing? I just love hearing everyone's story. So can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, Mark, my husband, has always wanted to live in an RV full time. His brother Peter had been doing that, and his wife and even their kids for the last 20 years. So I think he always was hoping that someday we could do that too. I was on the opposite side of the scale. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I would rather get a cabin in northern Minnesota and quilt because I love quilting. But then a couple of years ago, Mark had found Gone with the Winds, their YouTube channel. I think a lot of people have seen that. And I'm like, I could do that. That would be really, really fun. So then a couple of years ago when we would go to RV shows, Mark would go, hey, look, this is where your sewing machine could go, and here's where your fabric could go. So he was really getting me on board. And then it's just like, I just couldn't get enough. I had to see all the blogs. I had to see YouTube channels, and I just got hooked. So, and here we are. It took 2 years of downsizing and selling the house and getting the RV, but it's so worth it because I'm 12 days from retirement, and it's like, I'm here. I'm actually doing it.
Wow. Congratulations, Heidi.
Oh, yes. Thank you. And I got to meet you along the way, so you're part of my journey too.
Yeah, that's so cool. I don't think I remember, or I didn't know that it was Mark's idea to hit the road. And because, I see you online, and you always seem so gung-ho. Like you said, I couldn't get enough. So I just figured, it would be your idea, but I love that. See, everyone's story is so unique. Thank you for sharing.
Mark, come in here. I'll have everybody see Mark.
Come on, Mark.
He's in here.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for giving Heidi the idea. I've loved interacting with her the last year and a half, and I'm stoked for you guys.
I am the introvert, technical introvert. She's the extrovert, so that's why you see her most of the time, because she's the people person.
That's me and my husband, too. And it was my husband's idea as well.
We have something in common.
Yeah, but here I am. All
That's
right, awesome. So we're 12 days in. You took 2 years to hit the road about. Do you have any awesome stories about RVing or fun stories to share?
Yes, the fun story, this will be an easy one. We brought the RV out to Arizona in December, and our first leg of the trip was from Minnesota to Colorado I think it was December 10th, right around there. And we're just tooling along, and all of a sudden we hit some really bad wind, 30 to 40 mile an hour winds, and that can be really crazy. So Mark was driving, and I haven't learned how to drive this thing yet, but Mark was driving, and all of a sudden there's these tumbleweeds going across the road. He was slowing down, and we were hitting them, and they were exploding in front of us. It was like the weirdest thing I had ever seen in my life. And we started laughing because we're just like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. And the story gets better. We were going to Horsetooth Reservoir in Colorado. That's where we're going to camp overnight, and it's outside Fort Collins. And it was getting a little dark, so we're getting closer to where we needed to be. And we have 2 GPSs. So one is the RV GPS, and one is my maps on my iPhone. And the iPhone was saying to go one way, and the RV GPS was saying to go to a different way. So we're like, well, this is a tall vehicle, so maybe it knows of a tunnel or something like that, or something that we can't go on. So we decided to really take the RV GPS directions, and it took us 10 miles south out of the way. And then it took us on this really curvy road, and with elevation, with up and down, and it's starting to get dark. And then it had us turn in on this one, I think it was Skyline Drive, and we took it, and all of a sudden it's like somebody's driveway, and there's like on both sides, and you're like, oh my goodness. And it went up and around the corner, but we didn't dare go up there because maybe we couldn't turn around. So he backed up, and I was a nervous wreck because I'm like, we're going to go in the ditch. I think finally he said, Heidi, just be quiet. So I did. Eventually it got us there, but it took us obviously the wrong way. So we don't trust that thing anymore. So just be careful with your GPS because it might take you on a wild goose chase. That's my fun little story. And what we're doing all the time now is kind of like really seeing where we're going and like which roads do we really need to go on instead of just trusting everything is like, oh yeah, it knows everything. So no, it doesn't. Not at all.
Yeah, that's pretty wild about the RV GPS because usually you hear amazing reviews, you know, don't leave home without it kind of tips. Wow. I'm glad that you didn't ruin your tip-in. That would be one heck of a motorhome to ruin. Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. On our first really big trip out west.
Yeah, that would have really put a damper on retirement.
I'm
glad you guys made it okay. Tumbleweeds and GPS directions aside. All right, so last for the virtual spotlight, I'd love it if you could share kind of how you stumbled upon the virtual campground and, you know, maybe some favorite features of it or something like that.
Yeah, well, how I found the virtual campground and got involved in it. First, I got to you through the Full-Time Freedom Week, which has now been 2 years. It's normally right before Thanksgiving. So I kind of got to know you back in November of 2017. And it was amazing just to meet 4 strong women from the Full-Time Freedom Week and go, wow, they're doing things like that. You know what? I can do it as well. So I think it's Camille and Julie and Lindsay and yourself. And it just seems like you're my best friend. Whenever I write something, Liz, you immediately, pretty immediately, just get back to me right away. So that is just so cool to see strong women in the RV movement. And that's why I wanted to kind of get kind of involved in the virtual campground as well. Now that is kind of going full speed. And it's fun. You like post a question and people like answer it. And it's fun to see all the different answers and just little tidbits here and there. What do you think about this? I'm going to, Florida, and hey, is there different campgrounds I should look into? It's just like a community that people feel like they can ask questions and really get good advice or good suggestions as part of it. And I'm just so glad that I'm, have found that because I'm a newbie, but I feel like I'm not as newbie as when I first was out there two years ago. And it's like, hey, I can actually do this stuff. And when I started my blog, you've been blogging too. So you've been an inspiration for me too, to like, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. And I think you are that forefront person out there going, you know what, I'm going to try it. I'm going to fail sometimes, and that's okay because we're not all perfect and we don't have to be perfect. So, and you have just so much humor all the time too, that you make anything, even from your book that you have, any subject funny, So,
thank you so much, Heidi. That's so sweet. I hadn't heard that, you guys, and I swear this is not like a sponsored segment of the show or anything. Thank you so much for sharing that and for being a part of the campground. Tell us one more time where we can find your blog and if it's on Facebook or anything like that as well.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram on Loving the RV Life. And our blog, you can sign up for the mailing list at lovingthervlife.com. And I just am posting something today, so.
Oh, well, you guys are in for a treat then.
That's
awesome.
right.
Well, thank you so much, Heidi. I really appreciate you. And we'll see you next week.
Sounds great. Thanks, Liz.
Bye.
All right, you guys. So that's the virtual spotlight. It's the first one. It's just a way of highlighting you guys and saying thanks for being so awesome and for being here. Wow, I can't believe there are still like 40 people online. I know we ran super late. Thank you guys so much. I'm super excited. Again, this show is going to run every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on the virtual campground. I will try to get a personalized YouTube URL once I get a certain number of hours watched, I think it is.
But anyway, apparently the president is on TV and you guys are watching me instead. I keep seeing people talking about Donald Trump. So I don't know, other than he must be on TV at the same time as me. But anyway, thank you guys so much. This was freaking awesome. Wasn't this awesome? I had so much fun. Tosser Boss was hilarious. Thank you guys so much for sending in your pictures, for sending in your ideas on how to name the show, things like that. I love you all. Good night.